17 years old and I'm representing the Latino community.
My name is Jake Salt. I'm 26 and for the purposes of this dialogue, I'm representing the queer community.
My name is Christina Pham. I am 23 and I'm Vietnamese.
My name is Edwin Abarca. I'm 26 and I represent, or I don't say I represent, but I am part of the queer community.
I'm just really curious about different types of people around me, so I'm just hoping that this experience will open my eyes to different things.
I had a girlfriend who told me, yeah, like when I was growing up, people would be like, oh, you're Chinese? I love Chinese food. I love Panda Express, which is the most like Americanized, not even Chinese food.
Getting educated on what people are thinking, what people are saying, and what makes them feel welcome.
Para mí es muy importante conocer la historia de todos y saber que no estamos solos. Y es una forma de sacar, cuando uno tiene la oportunidad de hablar, es muy importante poderlo confesar o hablar sin miedo, sin tapujos, sin pena.
I'm just hoping to learn new perspectives from people. I really want to hear about people's experiences and try to make connections with that with my own.
I was with some of my family members and some of them are dark skin tone, and I came along and they were like, oh no, you wouldn't understand how it feels. You see, when I go to this place and they see me, they think that I'm undocumented or I don't know how to speak English or all these little things that they're seen as. And I feel like, well, I do live part of that, but they feel that just because I have a different skin tone, I don't go through as much.
The things I hope to experience are, I guess, compassionate dialogue with others. I'm also hoping to engage in conversation with other people around struggles that they have in their communities and ways that they're working to end those struggles and find out ways that we can maintain solidarity and mutual support.
We all have values in common, so in order for us to find that out, we need to talk about it. So I think these are really good first steps in doing that, because in order for us to be in solidarity with each other, we need to understand each other for our differences and our commonalities.
I was thinking of what you said of stereotype, that fashion is one of them, and I remember that lots of people, when they see a guy, he's really well dressed, they automatically think he's gay. And I can understand that stereotype. I never actually thought about it that way, but yeah.
My values is who I am. So it goes back to me even when I'm at a place where I feel like an outsider, and if I feel like my values are going to be respected, then I'm going to want to speak in order for me to feel like I'm included.
Even though sometimes we come from the same background or from the same community, we don't always face the same hardships or the same struggles. Like the Latino community, you have Chicanos that are born here and they don't really know people that are undocumented.
I would like to go back to my respective communities and talk about what's inspired me here, and hopefully have my respective communities and different communities that I'm part of also feel welcome.
It would be a great experience to just get to know more of others besides just putting a label or judging them.
I'm excited to learn about shared struggles the communities that I identify with have with other communities, and also to hear and learn from what other communities are doing to make their spaces safer.
I just want to be able to build a better understanding of the relationships between the different communities that form the Bay Area. Just how can the LGBTQ and immigrant communities connect?
Because they're two both strong, heated things that if you put it together, it's like a time bomb, it's just going to explode, and how will be the reaction to that?
So I just want to see how it is, how we coexist.
My community is full of neoconservatives, and I feel like their beliefs are always politically motivated. So my fear is that they'll continue to let that happen, where their politics, their personal politics, will motivate the way that they feel on certain issues.
I feel like with the Latino immigrant community, especially Latino, religion plays a big role, and I feel like I fear that if you put the Latino immigrant community and then the LGBT community, their narrow-mindedness are not gonna see, LGBT, and kind of push them away and not see the common goal that's at hand to reach that goal of change.
When people first meet me, they always assume, oh, you don't speak English, or like you're an alien. Yeah, like we, cause you're a woman, like stay home. What are you doing here? Like go clean or do this. They always tell you that. And what like I'm really am is like I'm a hard worker. I fight for what I want. Like if I really want it, I try my best. I'm a Latina Mexican American.
It's interesting now how they even categorize the people from Latino descent as just like if a Latino looking person commits a crime, they just say it's a Latino. So it's not just specifically from one country, but it's the whole population that's being targeted and perceived as criminals. Yeah, there's always someone that's going to be targeted, whether it is through legislation or just socially. There's always going to be a group that is going to have to fight for their rights.
If our communities let ourselves be discriminated by legislators, then it will continue happening. And if we don't speak up for ourselves, we wouldn't see this change that's been going on, like the California Dream Act in the past. It wouldn't have happened if the Dreamers and the allies didn't speak up for themselves or for other people that they knew that were in this current situation.
How the similarity of the LGBT community and the immigrant community have kind of, been screwed over by legislation, and how it's kind of like connecting us, and we're just bound to meet and just do some activism and just some changes. We want changes.
Mi esperanza es que mis descendientes dejen de sufrir discriminación y los dejen ser felices. Mi esperanza es que los latinos no se contaminen de la discriminación y empiecen a discriminarse entre sí. Y mi esperanza es que algún día no existan más muros.
From these conversations that we're going to have, I hope that whatever we learn within this group, that we take it out into our communities and we set the path for our own people to understand how these movements are connected and how we have to fight for both movements, even if we're not affected in either way.
Siempre somos afectados. Yo no necesito ser hombre o mujer o gay o mexicana o asiático o americano para que lo que hacen con cada uno de ellos no me afecte. Me afecta siempre.
And we were able to get on the same page as like where they're coming from and where we're coming from and how we can join our perspectives to make it into a desired goal.
I feel like if we don't understand each other, then there's no way I'm going to feel safe. And also, I feel like that's what leads to dialogue. I think, and I feel that being open-minded and respect is what will lead you to want to talk about it.
You can't just throw a bunch of people that have a lot of different experiences and potential hatred for one another.
And it's not like, yeah, oh my God.
Yeah, totally. And now you live in the community.
Yeah, I think that goes back into accountability, knowing issues and that there's things to be resolved and then implementing ways of resolving them instead of just saying it's all fine, it's all dandy.
Also, there is this coming out narrative now for even people who identify as being undocumented, who are undocumented, not even identified, but who are living the reality of being undocumented.
It was also tough for me because I would feel like I couldn't be myself around my friends at the beginning because sometimes the question would come up in class are you from here, and you just either hide it or just ignore it, but you can't really say it because either you're embarrassed or you're just scared.
My hope is that the bigger implications of these conversations are that it leads to more solidarity both between movements for justice and kind of a combination, so that we're no longer talking about justice for a specific group based on identity, but justice for all based on our human experience.
¿Por qué hay falta de amor? ¿Y por qué viviendo en la tierra no me siento en casa?
One of the bigger implications of having these conversations is learning where each person's coming from. It's really important to acknowledge the hardships that people have to go through depending on their backgrounds and their beliefs. And it's important to understand that even though we may be part of different social movements, that we're basically fighting towards what Jake was saying, towards social justice.
For the people that I interact with every day, how do I, and I mean maybe not on purpose, but just by accident, like the way that I speak to someone, the way that I look at them, the way that I interact, how am I making someone else feel like an outsider?
I feel thrilled, actually. I feel connected at the same time with everyone, not just because like I say immigrant, but like I feel I'm connected to everyone in different aspects.
We have many commonalities, and there are some generalizations of experiences that we can look at, and that's where I think justice comes into play and like what we're working towards.
Feel empowered. It's great to know that there are those in the community that care about this issue, and to have met them and to have been like conversating with them in this wonderful dialogue.
I walked out the last 2 Wednesdays feeling rejuvenated, feeling refreshed, ready to like go home and go to my jobs and speak to the people that I really love and like really fight for social justice.
Los diálogos me inspiraron. Y los desconocidos que llegamos la primera vez, ahora nos hermanamos, pues somos personas con los mismos sufrimientos y los mismos sueños. Yo aprendí mucho de cada uno de ustedes. Aprendí el respeto, la amistad, la honestidad, la fortaleza y la nobleza. Y todo esto es precisamente lo que se necesita para hacer el cambio contra la injusticia, la discriminación y luchar por nuestros derechos sin violencia. Todos salimos de la misma fuente de cultivo y que solo tenemos que ir ahí para reinventarnos. Yo soy un poquito de todos los que me inspiraron. Cualquier conflicto se arregla con el diálogo. Los amo a todos. Con
You've gone through what I've been through. You know what I feel.
We also have to be open-minded, that we have to remind ourselves that these problems are not just geared to one community, but it's also geared to an array of communities, and that if we sit down and we dedicate these dialogues, we could bring success.